Hi folks, Jonkits here. What am I playing? I'm playing Sailaway the Sailing Simulator. And up to this point I have been doing the challenges. And the last one, the challenge was like about 4 hours, but the people on the leadership board gone through with the slowest time of an hour and a half. I did it in just about 2 hours. So now we have the Cape Verde run, and the leadership board shows, where is it here? Leadership shows that it took an hour and a half at the very fastest, and the very slowest, almost 2 hours to complete. So I'm thinking that, sorry, I've been looking at this, most of it, some of it, the fastest one anyways, the offshore racer is what we're using. But what if I slipped over to the performance cruiser? Wow, it's a 50-foot boat. And it takes an hour and 3/4. The other one close to 2 hours. So we try that because we've tried it with the offshore racer several times. So let's back up and back up once more and go to the boat. This is the one we're usually using. That's the one we used at one point. And that's the ocean cruiser. So 45 feet there. And then there's the smaller ones. And now if I add an Exeter boat, I get the ocean cruiser, which is the one I have. Mini Transit Caribbean Roads, that's a catamaran. That's a performance cruiser, 50 foot. That's the one that they've been using. So what the heck, let's give it a try, shall we? Wow, it's noisy. Kind of looks like what we have. And I can heal it, but it's got different things, but it's pretty much flat as it is now. That's really, really loud. So I'm going to try to cut back on just, I'm going to try to cut back, there it is, cut back on just my headset volume so I can hear a little bit of what I'm saying almost. So what I'm going to do from here is I have a performance cruiser. Let's take a look. Well, let's jump right into it. We will see what the activity requires us to do. So we're now in a performance cruiser, and we're going to do the Cape Verde run, which is estimated at 4 to 6 hours, and it's 16 nanometers, even though when it passes a waypoint, it says it's so many miles, so I have no idea exactly what's going on. But here we go, the Cape Verde run. Make your way up the coast between the islands. Remember to tack against the wind. Okay, that's where we are. And right now, for some reason, it wants us to go completely downwind. Why does it want us to do that, I wonder? All right, so we want to cross over Arns, which is fine. And we're going to cross the line here at roughly 45 degrees. The apparent and actual is very close together. So we're going at that speed. And I'm trying to turn here, but there we go. Hung up for a minute. So let's tighten the sheet first of all. Backstay Traveler sheet. Okay, it's, I was going to say too tight, but now it's straight out. And we will tighten the sheet on the jib. So now we're up 6.6 miles. Okay, that seems to be closer to what we want. How come the timer? Have we crossed? No, we haven't crossed the line yet. As soon as we cross the line, the timer will kick in. So in the interim, we're still roughly, okay, the long one's the actual, so the apparent, if we pull off the wind, no, the other way. pull off the wind a little more so I get my apparent up. Boy, it's really slow moving. Okay, so we just crossed the line, and now we're doing 7.2 knots in an 18 knot wind. So let's move ahead a little bit here so we can see things. Things are very loose, so now let's see what the trim is asking us to do. First of all, the main sheet is too loose, so find the main sheet somewhere. There it is. The main sheet is too loose, you say. Okay, so that's about right. It wants me to pull the traveler and ease the sheet. So it wants me to pull the traveler. Traveler's back here. Pulling the traveler? Wouldn't that make it go that way? I don't know. Let's try it. The main traveler. And I'm pulling the traveler. Or ease the sheet. So let's pull the traveler. Doesn't seem to have a huge effect on what it's asking us to do. Traveler's at 100%. Let's back it off a little bit. And the main sheet is too tight. That's the main sheet too tight. We're going to loosen that a bit. And let's take a look at our map to make sure we're not heading into something. So we've got quite a ways to go before we start to get worried. I'd like to try to maintain, I'm looking in the upper right hand corner, try to maintain a 45-degree angle. That's the reason why we're at 9.4 at the moment. So we seem to be doing a good run here. It's a long run. Okay. So we're going to try to stay on this course as long as possible, and then we have to tack back. And if we tack back, it's going to be right into the wind. So our two choices will be to go beyond this point. Go beyond. I should be adjusting my sails first, but I'm looking at this right now. So it's going to be going beyond the point. So let's go with our jib. Pull the lead car. That's something new. Lead car. Okay, so the barber hauler is going forward and backward. Maybe that's what they're calling the car. Try to pull the lead car forward. So let's see if I'm hitting the right thing. Traveler, backstay, jib sheet, lead car. Yeah, that's the car here. And now it wants me to pull the halyard. See if I can find, oh, keep hitting the wrong button. I don't see anything yet. Come on, show me your stuff. Oh, there it is. Basically what? Try to pull the halyard of the jib halyard. I'm going to pull that a little further. So that's off. The jib sheet is too loose. Well, that's got a lot of new stuff here. Jib sheet is too loose, so loosen that up a bit. Wow, the jib sheet's a lot too loose. In fact, I've loosened the jib all the way. Oh, it's too loose. God. I'm supposed to be tightening it. Okay, so we're tightening the jib sheet. And pull the halyard and the backstay, or ease the car back. All the numbers seem to be back here somewhere. Car. Lead car. I want to pull it back, so pulling it. Or ease the lead car. So we fix that, except that now we have to pull the lead car. Ease the lead car. The sheet is too loose. Try to pull it. Okay, it takes care of that. Now let's go back to the mainsail. The main sheet is too loose. Looking up here, for the main sheet is too loose, so we just tighten that a bit. And once to pull the oat haul, everything's way back there except for the leads. The halyard, reef, Cunningham, oat haul. And it also wants to pull the Cunningham. So I'm up to 88, 90%. So there we are. Now, how are we looking? In speed-wise, we're 8.8. Looking at the map, we've got quite a ways to go yet. It wants us to reef the mainsail. So this is going to be a reef here, which will pull that down and fold it up a little bit there. Okay, let me explain that. Pull that down, the top right up here. And as we pull down, we fold it here. So we reef the mainsail. At which point, okay, what speed we're going? 8.8. So let's see what happens if we reef a mainsail. See if we can find. Can't even find the thing. Oh, there it is, down here in the lower. You want to reef the mainsail. There it is, reef the mainsail. So we have 33 and 67, and then 100% reef. So our speed has increased, I think. It's at 9.0, 9.1. Sail along. Again, looking at our map, we're staying roughly between 30 and 45 degrees off the true wind. Well, one's off the true wind. The long one, I think, is the true wind. Yeah. So we really should try to get the apparent wind angle a little higher. So to do that, we go a little further in. Okay, we're at 8.8 now. Okay, we're up to 8.9 as we increase our angle for the true or apparent wind. 8.2, 8.3, 9.3, 9. Now we're a little bit too much, apparently. 9.5, so we'll keep that heading for a little while longer. We can actually get quite far in. If you follow my cursor, the little number popping up is the depth. Depth in there is 2.7 on my course, so 4.7. So I can sail quite far in. And I want to circle this waypoint here, so we don't want to go up into the wind 90 degrees, so we're probably going to lose a little speed as we get closer here and try to pull an angle that way and cut off that waypoint there. Okay. How far to the next waypoint? Doesn't say because it's not a course set, it's just the suggested bearings, I guess you might say. Furl, oh wow, furl the jib to 90%. We've never done that before. Furl the jib. So we're at 9.7. Jib furl. Oh wow. The furl is that round thing up there. They want us to pull that up to 97. I'm just going to let it ride for a while. Unfurl the jib to 100. Unfurl the jib to 100%. If I increase that, it's going to tighten it, so it's going to be almost entirely furled. Well, it will be entirely furled at 100%. Well, let's follow what their lead is. Our speed is probably going to drop. Yeah, it is. All right. So let's say 100% is really 0%. That's what they mean. You see our speed is picking back up here. Oops. Yeah, okay, we're at 0% now. And we're at 9.2, so we'll leave that, and it wants us to remove that reef that's on here. Again, our speed is 9.2. traveler, backstay, sheet, car, main reef. So they want us to unfurl that reef. So at 9.1 speed, we're going up a bit, 9.6. So we're cruising along, no pun intended. So now it wants us to add a reef and pull the jib. If I pull the jib to 90, that's going to put way out there. So that's got to be backwards. Maybe I pull it to 10, pull it. Pull it means makes it bigger, tighter, I think. Okay, let's try to find it again. Main reef, looking over here. The car, that's the sheet, the backstay, main traveler, main reef, furl. Let's put it at 10%. See if that makes a difference. I didn't check the speed. So now it says to unfurl it to 100%. So I got the feeling it's one of those ones where you really shouldn't play with. I had 9.5, I'm now at 9.4. Okay, by furling at 10%, I've increased my speed. 9.6, the more I furl it. Oops, now it's at 9.5. So let's go back. It's at 9.6 now. So let's leave it around there. And let's try to... 9.6 is the speed. Let's see what the reef does. 9.6 is our speed with the reef gone. Now the reef is slowing us down, so take the reef away. .6 is our speed. Now if we look at our map, we've got a ways to go here yet. However, if I wait longer, I'm too far in, and when I come back out to this, I'm going to be closer to the wind. I'm going to be on irons if I wait much longer. So let's just tease it inward a bit. So we're going to lower this angle. So the speed is going to drop. Going to be a trade-off with how much we want to drop and how much we want to swing by this waypoint here. So, unfurl the jib. Let's see, 8.1. If I can find the number, it's over here. Trying to get it so that it's more visible, but it's in the back here. We furl. So it's unfurl to 100%, which means for us to 0%. 8.3 was the speed. 8.3, 8.2, roughly the same. Our average speed is 17.8. We're at 8.1, and we tried to furl it. Now it wants us to add a reef. Okay, that looks a little bit loose. Yeah, so the jib sheet is loose. So let's everything's way back. Jib sheet is loose. Okay, that takes care of the jib. Now the car, I want to ease the car, which is this one. Unfortunately, the numbers are back here that I want. The lead car is 47. So it wants me to try to pull it. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one again. Try to ease the car. Okay, use a little bit more. Now we'll come to the sheet. It wants me to loosen the sheet a bit. Oh no, try to pull it. Let me pull the sheet. Okay. Now if I overcompensate, once again, it wants me to ease the car, and the car right there. Okay, so we're looking good. Now look at our map. We've got a long ways to go yet. A bit of a new boat, a bit of a new course. And our angle is plus and minus 30%, depending if you're looking at true wind or apparent wind. So, let's try to lay out the course for us here. And try to stay on this course until we want to turn around here. So that pretty much means staying at a knot of 8.3 all the way through. Okay, now we click on this and look, it does have a nice thing. No, I don't want to see the library. How do I start a course? I don't know if I'm showing or hiding the course log. But I want to set up a course, folks. How do I do that? The yellow line right there. Disappeared completely. BTW is bearing to waypoint, which is what I thought it was. But I don't see a waypoint, so it's kind of stuck at 90 degrees, I'm thinking. 8.6. If I add a reef, I'm looking at this thing, add a reef to the mainsail. My speed is 8.6, so let's see. If I add 8.3 at this point, I'm adding a reef. Looking at the knots here, still 8.3 hasn't really changed significantly. If anything, it's loose. So that's annoying when you can't find the damn thing. That's the main sheet, main traveler, mainstay, main sheet. Reef it. Let's take the reef away. See whether we increase our speed here. 7.8 knots, even though overall we're increasing. Okay, let's see if putting the reef back on helps. Yep, increase the speed, so the reef in this case is good. Trim-wise, the jib's fine. The mainsail is too round, pull the O-tail. Doesn't matter which way I go, it's going to be the wrong way. I can't pull the O-tail because it's reefed. Moving along here. Anyway, what I'm trying to do is find a way to start a new course. Now if I clear the current, I'm afraid if I clear the current, I'm going to clear these points here. I'll go for it. Okay, clear, do you really want to start? Okay, good, these are still in place. Now, that's unlocked, so I should be able to click and start a new course. This is a real bummer because if I can't put on a course, I can't exit the program, which is what I want to do in the next challenge, because that's a week long. Can't change that. This is unlocked. clear the current course and start a new one here. Right, so I should. There should be a little yellow line. Oh, there it is. Okay. Just took a while for it to think it out. Set the destination. Okay, we drag it out, etc., etc. So we're going to head up in that direction, but the course itself is going to be, I'm going to put it right about there. And according to that, I'm 11 minutes off. So this is a lot bigger than the other one was. We have 4 minutes off when I pass that one. And then we're going to stay on this course. And then we're going to swing around here. Might swing before that, but anyway. Okay, oops, that's our map at present. And of course it's there. Trim-wise, we can't pull the out haul because we have, I see here it says you have 9 miles to go in your voyage. This is miles, whereas we're working in nautical miles. Anyway, ease the car a bit. Everything's behind us. That's a drag. Oh, a car is where we want to ease the car a bit. Okay, we're at 9.2. Our angle to the true wind is almost 45 degrees, so we'd like to get the apparent wind higher, but we can't because we want to stay roughly on this course until we get past this one. And it says to furl the jib 90%, but every time we have, nothing major has happened, so we're just going to leave the jib furled or unfurled, depending on what percentage you look at. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little break in the video here, and once we get to this point, I'm looking at the map over here, once we get to this point roughly, we will turn north, and once we get to this point, we'll turn north and try to close off. Oh no, I'm going to have to go to the second one in the course, waypoint. I'm going to have to go to the 1, 2, 3, 4th one here. You follow my cursor. Once I get to here, then I'm going to tack back across the wind and pick up some of this. Well, so essentially I'm going to stay course until I get to that point. And they want me to remove the reef. According to that, I don't see any reason why. Well, this is kind of dropped off. So they want me to increase the amount of sail. So I can find it again. Way back there. Remove that reef at 6.8. I don't know if that speed has increased because of that or not. Anyway, I'm up to 7.7 knots. Okay, anyway, taking a break. See you guys when I get to here. Okay, so now we've come quite far. We're almost to this point here, and we're going to tack so that we're back across the wind and past this little waypoint here. Hopefully we haven't gone too far south. So I've been eliminating these one by one. Okay, so we're pretty much where we want to be at this point. When this dotted yellow line, which is bearing to that waypoint, gets about 90% of this, 90 degrees off the tangent here, we are about to swing north. So let's do that now. So we've got to cross irons. And we're now tilting to the opposite side. So we want to cross that at, collected some water there. Anyway, Not really at 30 degrees, so let's pull it a little bit further along. Try to pick up some speed here. Let's keep it somewhere around 45 degrees. So we're at 8 knots. Now let's see what the trim says. We're in the mainsail. The top of the mainsail is too tight. Try to pull the traveler or ease the sheet. Right, easing the sheet. Let's get to the opposite side here. So you're going fine. Okay, there's the mainsail, there's the sheet. You want me to ease the sheet? Well, they don't want me to do anything, so we'll leave that as is. And the jib's fine. So let's go back to the map. Okay, here's what I've decided to do. I am going to tack back across here and try to get roughly 45-degree angle on this side. And then if I go far enough, I'll be able to tack back this way at the right time and maybe cross this line here and then head that way, which is, by the way, the finish line, which is right here. So, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing here, but anyway, let's take it and see what happens. So I'm going to swing around, try to get this angle here to 45 degrees on the other side. So we're almost, okay, we're now passing through irons. Boat's tipping the other way. And our speed is up quite nicely here at 9.0. If I go a little further off, let's see how my trim is going. The trim jib's okay, and the mainsail's okay. Okay, folks, we're about to make our turn toward the finish line. We've been going at this for an hour and 39 minutes. And as you can see, what I've been doing over the last little while is tacking back and forth across the line that connects these two green spots. And by looking at up ahead of us, you can see we're coming up rather quickly on that, and we're going to have to make a quick turn. So I've been trying to maintain a speed of 9.6, 9.5, and sometimes up to 9.7. And I've been trying to maintain an angle of somewhere between 30 and 60 as far as my true wind direction or angle to the wind and the apparent angle to the wind. So right now we are about to make our big swing, which if we look at the GPS is going to be 56 seconds from now, but that's where my course is, which is a little closer there. See, my course direction is a bit different. So we are going to start swinging a little bit because I'm sitting right on the bow here. I'm doing a Titanic motion here. So I'm trying to bring it around gradually without losing too much speed. I suppose I should have maintained the course, but I like to cut things narrow. So, okay, the more angle I turn toward the wind, the slower I'm going to get. But any second now, we're going to cut across the irons and head for the finish line. Maybe I went this too quickly. Okay, we're going to cross irons soon. We're still going 3 knots. I cut this too sharp. Anyway, we're slowly picking up speed. And we'll bring our angle, hopefully it'll be the right angle, to somewhere between 30 and 60. And as you can see, well, we're pretty close on. Let's try to get a little bit further off here. We'll head straight for the finish line at roughly 9.5, 9.6 knots, which is pretty nice. And we'll take a look at our trim, and our jib, or our mainsail's fine, but the jib, see the top of the jib's too tight. The jib sheet is too tight, ease it. So we're going to ease the jib sheet. Okay, there's the jib car. Try to ease that. Okay, that's done. Jib sheet. I'm going to ease that a little bit. Not by much, apparently. So we're going at 9.8. And it looks like we're just going to go straight through at this angle. So anyway, I will see you when we get to the other end. Okay, folks, we are very close to closing this off. As you can see, this is our line we're going to cross. This is us approaching it very quickly. So as I pointed out before, let me scroll out a little bit here and see if I can show you. Yeah, I tacked back and forth across the line. I tried to maintain a speed of 19, I don't know, 0.5 knots. And I didn't play around with changing the sails and such. A couple times they suggested raising a number 4, but I avoided doing that. And I just got closer and closer. The only thing I watched was if the wind speed dropped to like where it is right now, I would, see if I can find it here, I would take the reef off, and that would increase my speed a little bit. Hope. And then when it started to get back up around 17, 18, or 17 and a half and above, I would put the reef back on again. So as you can see, it's getting slower and slower. That's about as slow as it's been since we started out here. And I'll get a little closer. Now, if I turn further into the wind, I will lose this angle. I tried to maintain a somewhere between 60 and 30. So let's just pull over a little bit, just for the heck of it. So my speed generally is dropping, and the true wind speed has dropped off significantly. So we'll just have to wait it out. I was hoping it would pick up some speed so we could fly across there. But if you remember at the beginning, it said it would take 4 to 6 hours to complete, and we did it in just over 2 hours. In fact, that's pretty darn close to the slowest time of the top 100, which was under 2 hours, but 2 hours and what, 56 or something like that. We'll check that out in a minute. So any second now, we're going to cross the line and complete this particular challenge. So please, stick with us, and we will check out the user, or the leaderboard. So we did it in 2 hours and 8 minutes. Now, where are we in terms of, okay, we're not going to run into anything, so we can just keep on trucking there. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. You can see the fastest was just over an hour and a half, and the slowest was just 2 or 3 minutes under 2 hours. And we were just almost, well, just a little, about 8 minutes over the 2 hours, so we were pretty close. We made some better decisions at the beginning. We might actually have made the top 100. So that's it, I think. What I'm going to do is put this one at anchor, and then I will shift out of here. But for you, please hit the thumbs up button and the subscribe button. And most importantly, leave a comment, especially if you're an old gamer like myself. I'm 70 years old plus. And hopefully you will let me know if I'm the oldest gamer in the world, which I know I'm not, and what other things happen that you encounter as you went through the gaming world at the age that you are. So, until next time, see if I remember the right keys here, please do take care.